So for me, it's about, how do you kind of like have confidence in yourself and build your network and really get around people that will build you up, not tear you down.
Hi, everyone. I'm Samra Haider, President at CEO, and I am going to be having a conversation today with Pat Clancy, who is President and CEO of Philadelphia Works. Philadelphia Works has been an incredible partner for CEO and within the Philadelphia community, connecting local Philadelphians to work. And we're going to talk a little bit about their focus on reentry, both as a provider, but also how it works internally at the organization that Pat leads.
Everybody, great to be here.
Hi, Pat. Great to
Oh,
be connected
Samra.
with you. We were just talking a lot about our shared history, and it's been really great to partner with you. And so just broadly, maybe spend like really short, giving everyone a quick overview on just what Philadelphia Works does across the city.
Great, absolutely. We are the city's designated workforce board, which means that we help invest the city's awarded money. So the city receives both federal and state funds to help individuals in transition. We're the entity that, takes that investment, analyzes the opportunities, look at how we can leverage it, and really begin then to invest in services so that individuals can get back to work. We serve a lot of different groups of individuals, but the common theme is people are in transition, whether they're laid off, coming back from incarceration, in and out of jobs. The goal would be that we can intake individuals, get a sense of who they are and what they like to do, and then build around a plan of action for that. So sometimes that includes going to school, sometimes it's a transitional job, sometimes it's right back to employment. So our goal is to figure out, where do we best invest our funds, and how do we get the most out of that money?
And can you talk to me a little bit about where your work supporting specifically people coming home from incarceration?
So we have 4 career link centers, which is sort of our America's Job Center. That's the tagline nationwide, but in Pennsylvania, it's called PA Career Link. They are access points for us to help individuals, start the process. We also have a strong working relationship with the City of Philadelphia reentry programs. So we make sure that individuals are coming back into our community, can connect it to services fast. And that's the key thing. I mean, I think we know that the sooner we can get people engaged in work or training, or we're trying to find their way back into their community, how do we provide them the right support and opportunities so they can begin to kind of reacclimate themselves back into that community?
And I know in your role, just both as President CEO of Philadelphia Works and just your standing in the community, you engage with a lot of employers. And so what are the things that you talk about with employers to get them motivated or excited about hiring folks, with a background?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to them about, why people really believe in second chances and why we think when they have a second chance, they really take it much more serious than they ever have done. And really that they are committed to following the rules, that they're hard workers, and that they're willing to put the extra time in, knowing that, they have to prove themselves again. But, I think the employers look at them as people who have, paid their debt to society, that have, now they want to move forward and they want to be a part of something that can help them build their community, build their family, and really get back to a positive work environment.
And thinking now about the organization you lead, how has your work with justice involved individuals or just your work more broadly informed your own focus on diversity and equity and inclusion within Philadelphia Works?
Yeah, within Philadelphia Works, it's one of our core principles. We actually have a committee, a DEI committee, a standing committee with staff. We actually go through workshops. So we are right now in the process of doing, all 86 staff that work at Philadelphia Works are part of the DEI workshops. And for us, it's really recognizing people's strengths and not judging them for who they are, what color they are, or where they came from, but really looking at their skill, looking at their abilities, and really trying to give them the opportunities here at Philadelphia Works, to help them, be able to succeed in the path in which they want to choose, and really help them, look at their opportunities in a way in which they can continue to stack it and grow it.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then in thinking again back to the Philadelphia job market, can you think of gaps in the job market or opportunities in the job market is a better way to put it that second chance hires could fill?
Yeah, we have a lot of success with manufacturing, logistics, culinary, A lot of those opportunities are pretty wide open right about now in our industry. The pandemic was really hard on the culinary work, but now it's back open, and we have restaurants that are in need of staff. We still have a lot of logistic needs, and we will have a lot of infrastructure slash construction needs, which I think is a great opportunity to look at how do we move individuals that really want to work with their hands, really want to be outside. We got a lot of money coming into the city to redo our streets and our bridges and our railways. So really this is a great opportunity right now to earn a living wage, because all these jobs will be mostly union jobs in the infrastructure work. Through our Good Jobs Challenge and through our connection with the city, we're building those pipelines as we speak into like pre-apprentice into apprenticeship models.
That's great. Can you touch upon that more? Because CEO is really focused lately on not just getting an initial job, but really upskilling and providing advanced training to get people into career pathway opportunities. I know Philadelphia Works is doing a ton on that. And so just could you talk a little bit more about your advanced training work?
Sure. We actually have our own apprenticeship unit, which we created about 5 years ago. And really that unit helps us to bridge the gap with employers and job seekers, and really job seekers, but really the sort of the pre-apprentice models. And we say pre-apprentice because we do believe before people get into that apprenticeship, which could be somewhat intense and somewhat academically intense or physically intense, we want to make sure individuals feel comfortable with that. We don't want to just push them, right? So we want them to understand that in the pre-apprentice model, you can make the mistakes that maybe you can't make as an apprentice, but also get your supports in line, right? Because we know that we model the pre-apprentice time with what we think the apprentice will look like. So whether it's early morning, in particular early morning. So we really have to work with our apprentices or our pre-apprentices on looking at reliable transportation, childcare, backup supports if they need it. Because once you get into that apprenticeship, you may not have that same flexibility. So for us, it's about giving individuals a chance to kind of see what it really is like, to understand their opportunities, and then really get excited. Because once you get into a union like that, your opportunities are ever changing. You can go to many different projects, and you can really, find your way making, anywhere from 25 to 30 to $40 an hour.
Great. And I'm so glad you mentioned just like kind of recognizing the supports people need, because I think that's one of the things. It's not a lack of motivation, it's not a lack of interest, but sometimes folks just need a little bit of that learning lab before jumping into things full swing. So I'm glad you guys have those opportunities. The other thing is, you're working with a lot of CBOs like CEO, and then you're working with employers.
Yeah.
And you might have employers who want to engage with justice involved population, but don't really know how. How might they rely on Philadelphia Works or other partners to sort of get connected with CBOs like CEO?
Yeah, we have a lot of access points, but we do have a business engagement team, a business service team is what we call them. We do have what we call on-the-job training contracts, which really mitigates the risk for an employer. That is an opportunity for us to build a training plan, along with the employer and the worker, and really look at how can we pay 50% of that wage for a period of time. Once again, giving the employer an opportunity, to realize that we're willing to take the risk. We think it's a good investment in these individuals and these workers. So we are really trying hard to encourage employers, look beyond what you maybe understood the past to be, but really look at the future. Look at their attitude, look at their excitement, look at how they show up, and look at their maturity. I think a lot of us go through a lot of ups and downs in life, and we usually come out of it much more mature and much more willing and resilient to kind of look at disappointment sometimes and keep going. And I think that's one of the strengths that we see in our ex-offenders, our returning citizens, is that they've been through something and they've gotten over that hurdle, right? They've been able to come back out on the other side and say, I'm ready for something different. And I think that's an impressive trait to have, because in the workplace, you have to be extremely flexible. And I think that's one of the benefits that we see when our returning citizens engage in our programs.
And just thinking of employers, like any employers you want to shout out that have been a great example?
Yeah. Cardone Industries is a manufacturer in the northeast part of the city. They've done a lot of work. I would say ShopRite. We have a individual running for mayor, Philadelphia, who has been known to hire a lot of returning citizens into his supermarkets, and he's using that as one of his campaign, promises to build on those models. And really our culinary programs, our warehouses, We've really been fortunate to have employers because right now it's a struggle to find good employees. I mean, it's a market that's pretty tight. We think that employers are paying more because we see the wages go up. So I would say, SEPTA, which is our transportation organization, they're another good employer. Philly Shipyard, Rhodes Industries. So we're lucky. We've, through our industry partnerships and our programs and our career links and our board, we've been able to kind of tap into a lot of different groups. And what we see is it expanding. In the beginning, it was just manufacturing, it seemed like. But now we're beginning to see logistics. We're beginning to see transportation. We're beginning to see, welding as a really good occupation, something where people feel comfortable being and looking at where their trajectory as far as growth is, as far as wages and compensation.
And, I think shifting back to our participants, the idea of second chances is an important theme to highlight, and it really talks about obstacles you have to overcome. And so I'm just curious, as sort of something inspiration for those who are listening, like if you have any obstacles that you've had to overcome that have sort of helped you return strong and be the person you are today, leading this, major organization, one of the best, workforce boards across the country, that might be, motivating to our participants.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate in my spot now, but I have to tell you, I've been 6 years as a president, but I've been like 24 years as a non-president, right? Working from the entry level on up. And look, laid off at certain times in my career, a consultant sometimes where things didn't go well, stressed over whether I can meet deadlines and, just really struggled with anxiety for a little bit, really had a problem with stuttering at some point. So for me, it's about, how do you kind of like have confidence in yourself and build your network and really get around people that will build you up, not tear you down. And I think the one lesson I learned throughout all this is how you treat people, right? I'm the same person I am as a president as I was as a entry line worker. And at some point I was a McDonald's worker. So, there's no shame in any of the jobs I've done. But I think I've learned that if you treat people with respect, you try your hardest, you're honest with people, that good things can happen. And I think that is where, we tell our customers, be honest with the employer. Like, don't lie about your background. Don't lie about, where you've been. Build on the fact that you are a stronger person for it. And if given a chance and an opportunity, you will prove that. And then find your network of support. And I think that's important, and I think that's why when we do these pre-apprentice models, we do them in cohorts so that we can, build that sort of like collegial feeling in the group so that they have somebody to talk to who's been through a similar circumstance. So my thing is don't give up. You have to try to be, honest with yourself and work on the things that, you need to do better at. And then build on the people around you who've been supporting you for years.
I just want to thank Pat Clancy again for his time, his continued partnership, and really just hearing his insights about working with a justice-involved population, especially as we're celebrating Second Chance Month this month. Thank you.